There's a friend of ours approaching again.
Yeah,
we haven't. It feels like we only spoke a minute ago, but he's back. It's Páraic McMahon from the Clare Echo.
Yeah, it's probably been a few hours at this stage. Páraic,
it feels like, yeah.
You're very welcome back there. Can you? Oh, actually, hang on. No, I need to plug out one microphone, and I'll plug this one in. Now, Páraic, can you hear me?
Good evening.
right.
Or is it morning at this stage? I can't tell.
There's no, a bit like Las Vegas. There's no windows in this place, and we can't tell.
It was a lovely day in Ennis. I only got out for 20 minutes to see.
You were lucky I didn't get out at all.
And well, you only arrived at 11 or half 11. Some of us are here a lot earlier.
I won't rise to it.
Yeah. Páraic, we'll chat a little bit about. We'll talk about East Clare first and the KMD. You sort of called it fairly early, saying you don't think. I don't know.
It's a birthday.
It's Alan O'Callaghan's birthday as well as getting in.
There you go.
Double celebration, indeed.
There you go. So Alan has been elected. Good vote turnout for him.
Yeah, very good.
Is his the big story of the election in the KMD?
For Killaloe?
Yeah.
No, I'd say the story is it's same old, really. There's not much of a story in Killaloe to be blunt about it. Alan didn't have the competition of Ger O'Halloran this time round, and he has achieved very well for Quinn.
I wonder, is that unique? You know, it looks as if the same five are going to be back for the third
term in a row.
That must be unique in the country, isn't it?
Oh, it definitely is, yeah.
It is, yeah.
But overall, Páraic, there isn't a lot of change across the county. I mean, there's one seat, one or two. I mean, the party arithmetic might change in Fianna Fáil's favour.
There is bits of change, but like Fianna Fáil are going up. Fine Gael maybe lose a seat somewhere, maybe gain a seat otherwhere. Like the Ennis is a bit of a story in that it is a bit less, or maybe more conservative than others in that it could elect 4 Fianna Fáil, 2 Fine Gael, 1 Sinn Féin.
Yeah.
Can you explain the poor Labour vote, really? You know, there was a Labour seat here in Clare, you know.
Well, Labour haven't got a seat since 2014 with Pascal Fitzgerald, like, so as someone else said, I think Labour have had their day, unless they do something differently. An interesting story, Luke, but to go back to what you're saying is, I'd say the Social Democrats I spoke to Fiona and she was happy, but I spoke to other people in the Social Democrats and they're very deflated with how they got on. I know we're bouncing over to Ennis. Hilary Tanja didn't do as well as anticipated or expected, but Fiona did fairly well. Matt Maroney has gone up to 983, which is okay, but it is going to be the same 5 returned.
Is that sort of naivety of a youngish party that they didn't read the signals right? I mean, in the polls they're pretty low nationally. But even such a big,
even in Ireland South, Susan Doyle has polled very poorly for them. So.
But they are a small party. They're a new party. They're not that well known. The candidates are brand new. They're starting from a small base.
But then you look at Fiona has a good CV from what she's done. Like, she's obviously broadcast on Scariff community radio as well.
And to be fair to her, you know, and it's a very respectable. It's a very respectable turnout there, 669, isn't it? For a first-time candidate.
That's a coalition hug over there. Look at it. Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, Mary Hard and Allen.
But you look at it as well. I think Fiona would have got much better if Audrey Flynn didn't come into the mix. She has Audrey Flynn is finishing there with 370. We're not to say, you know, Fiona could have got those votes, which would have pushed her up to 1,000.
Well, will Audrey's, now we're getting into the predictions and the prophecies, Audrey's votes will be redistributed now in the fourth count, those 370. Where would you expect those to go?
But I didn't actually catch Pat Dowling. Does she have 370 to go in her surplus, or what exactly?
Yes, she's now been eliminated.
Yeah, I know she's gone, but how many votes is she to be of her surplus is going to be? Do you know that's going to be?
Just hold a second.
Subject to circumstances, it is our intention to complete the 3 counts, the 3 local elected areas we have tonight.
We're going to be here for a while longer. They've indicated they want to complete the 3 votes tonight.
I think they want to watch that match tomorrow, do they?
Some of them do, anyway.
Well, you'd question by the pace of it. Some of them are sitting down a lot. I'd say we could be done a lot quicker if they wanted to be at the match tomorrow, to be honest.
You know, that thought occurred to me too.
And it's a pity Pat Dowling doesn't have a headphone to be hearing that as well. He might put the whip out.
Páraic, as a sportsman, will you be here or will you be at the match?
I'd say so.
Well, politics and elections are blood sports of their own, so I'll be at one sort of a sport, but I may not be venturing down the M18 to Semple Stadium.
Yeah. So we don't expect any change. Coming back to Ennis, are you surprised that the Ennis 2040 thing doesn't appear to have made much of a difference?
I wouldn't say it hasn't made much of a difference, but I just would say there's a very weak field in Ennis. And that's no discrimination to any candidate. Like, there's 13 in the field. In 2014, it had the longest ballot in the country.
Yeah.
Really?
Like, if you look at the history of it, Johnny Flynn was a very strong candidate. I think he would have topped the poll comfortably if he ran this time around. James Breen retired in 2019, an independent candidate, and Norton as well is retired. Like there's no fair play to Rory Keane, the youngest candidate in the county at 21 years of age, but there's no strong independent there to challenge. So we were relying on maybe the Greens or the Social Democrats to create a bit of noise there, which they haven't. Obviously, they're connected to Save Ennis Town too, so is Tom O'Callaghan. But like Clare Conor-Malloy, Paul Murphy and Mary Howard, while they're pro Ennis 2040, they've done a lot of good for their area. Paul Murphy's brought in a lot of money to Clare Castle. Clare Conor-Malloy has helped to transform Ballybeg, in terms of lighting and footpaths and stuff. So that's the job of the councillor, is to do their area, and that's why maybe in East Clare the same five are returned again.
Could it actually be that because those candidates who had supported 2040, that their supporters felt that they needed additional support, and that it could have had actually a positive impact for them?
I don't think so. I think I'd go back to, again, it maybe being a weak field. I think that the public are vexed enough about Ennis 2040 and stuff, but Ennis had a poor turnout as well, if we're to look at it.
Less than 50% probably.
Yeah, 50% in Ennis CBS, which is... And then I was speaking to people that were at the count centres, and they were saying it was mainly, which isn't surprising, but it was a lot of old people coming out to vote. Like the young...
Who were going to vote anyway.
Yeah, and Ennis 2040 unsurprisingly hasn't, enamoured the imagination of the young people. And maybe they're less active to get out for a local election than we'd have seen for some of the referendums.
Actually, it is down on the 2019 voter just slightly. There a valid poll here in Ennis, 11,776. In 2019, it was about 250 votes below. So it's not much of a difference.
You think the population would have increased a little bit in the last 5 years as well?
You're right. You're right.
Right, Páraic, listen, we'll move on from Ennis and we'll go to Ennis Diamond. Can you give us your thoughts on, I suppose, is it the big story, the big comeback?
Absolutely,
bring back Bill.
Fair play to Bill Slattery. Like, it very, I can remember being here 5 years ago. He was very emotional.
Absolutely.
To lose his seat. He was the only one of the 23 that sought re-election to lose out. And look, we're not connected to. Well, I'm not connected to any political party, but you'd have to be happy for him here today.
Yeah.
He came in. That was he's had a very tough 5 years as well personally, and he's come in today and he's got a resounding vote from the people of North Clare and from Lahinch and from Ennis Diamond and surrounding areas.
And speaking to a few people that we had during the day, they all sort of alluded back to it last time, said, Bill is safe, and just maybe the people that might have indicated they would vote for him, and you said that can be the kiss of death, we'll say to
I wouldn't have said it was more narrative of him being safe. I think there was well documented behind the scenes things that went on in Fine Gael, potential rifts, some of which haven't been healed, which was a big story from it. But it's very nice to see that Bill is back. He's been on the Clare Joint Policing Committee. He's passionate about his community. You might say he's old Fine Gael stock, but I personally, not because of the position I'm in, but Bill doesn't really have a filter, which is very good for us sitting at the back of the meetings. But he's not afraid to call it as he is, and he stands by his opinions. So that's to be admired as well, and fair play to him.
So you're going to say that the meetings of the Ennis Diamond Municipal District will be more entertaining in
well,
the
they're factored in with the West Clare Municipal District, so he'll. I'm not saying it wasn't lively, but he'll help add something to it anyway, and potentially. We don't know if Dinny Gould is going to get in. He probably is. I'd say Dinny's going to throw in a good few sound bites, but we have to caveat that by saying Councillor PJ Kelly is retiring, and I don't think there'll be a better man for a soundbite than Councillor PJ Kelly.
He's a great loss to the journalism.
Great loss, yeah. A lot of things come to mind. He was on our podcast a few weeks ago. We spoke about election posters. I reminded him that he once said he was allergic to airbrushing. That's why he didn't have posters. Another one that he came out with was looking for... speaking about potholes, or as he called them, subterranean tunnels. You know, look, it's a pity he's not here today because he's great crack.
Colourful. Yeah. Use the language.
He the master of the one-liner and the soundbite.
You'll need somebody to help create you a bit of copy, Páraic, over the next number of years that are there. Just looking at the rest of the vote in Ennis Diamond, we say you've two Fine Gael in.
2 Fine Gael so far, yeah. So at the minute we've seen the transfer of 85 votes from Councillor Joe Garrihy. So just to bring the listeners back up to speed as well, Shane Talty got 31 there, so he's ahead on 1,789. Joe Killeen got 22, so that puts him on 1,659. Councillor Liam Grant got 20, so he's on 1,023. Conor O'Sullivan, Sinn Féin, got 2, puts him on 206. Pam O'Loughlin, Independent, 253, she got 2. Michael Lucre of the Irish People got 1 vote, he's on 130. Dennis Vaughan got 2, put him on 100. So Michael Lucre and Dennis Vaughan are now eliminated. So Pam O'Loughlin and Conor Sullivan probably next to go. Looking like Liam Grant isn't going to get it. He's going to be one of the sitting councillors to lose his seat. He's the third Green councillor to have come onto that seat since Roisin Garvey got elected in May 2019. We had Susan Crawford elected or took her place when Roisin Garvey was added onto the Shannon, and then Susan resigned. So, Liam is currently the youngest councillor at the minute, but obviously David Griffin or Rachel Hartigan is probably going to take that title anyway. Yeah,
and I know we had Timmy Dooley on with us earlier, and he alluded to the fact that he thought that the vote that Grant got was quite
respectable.
Absolutely. I think he got over one. Like, he's obviously on 1,023 now, but he got over 1,000. Yeah, like he did do a good vote considering, and he did, like, I haven't seen the exact figure, but Liam got young people out to vote as well. He's going to be a loss in a way.
So a Fine Gael gain at the expense of the Green Party.
Yeah, and the story from that is the Greens are now going to have no representatives on Clare County Council. So that's the story, and that's something that's going to have been replicated nationally.
Yeah. Páraic, have you had a chance to look at any national news or keep us up to date with anything? Is there anything happening in neighbouring counties of interest?
I think Kilkenny won the Leinster hurling final.
I think you're right on that one.
With regards to Ireland's Luke, I know that's of no interest to you anyway.
Over my head anyway. So sorry.
Well, I think we were told fines to the 2 goals and 6 points.
Tom, stop.
Luke, on my tea break, I had a chance to look at just the headlines, and it appears that it is a battle between Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, and that the Sinn Féin vote nationally didn't hold up or didn't come through as people were expecting.
And just on that, sorry Luke, if I could get in, obviously we're keeping our live blog going for anyone that wants to be reading as well as listening at the same time. Martin Lynch, who I think was on here as well at some stage of the party strategist with Fine Gael, said in local politics, I'm paraphrasing him, it's about the person, not the party. And he said putting up a poster of, didn't name her, but Mary Lou MacDonald down in County Clare is no good. I know some Simon Harris signs went up, but and then Sinn Féin are going with the line vote for change or something. But I think people are weary of the Sinn Féin vote for change because they've really stalled in terms of the momentum. Particularly, I would nearly trace it back to the Dublin riots last year. I think the public began to say, right, maybe these guys aren't the option, and began to pull away.
The referendum sort of their stance on the referendums probably hasn't helped them.
That accelerated it then. So
and we say if you look at the vote, the Sinn Féin vote in Clare in the KMD, I think they're going to have to be disappointed with the vote that they've got, and they're probably going to be more disappointed with the vote that Tommy has got in Ennis. I know he's going to get elected, but there was talks there for a long period of time with political hacks, yourself included, where I think he thought he would have had a good chance of being closer to the top of the poll.
Yeah, absolutely. And but I think it was definitely, I can't remember which candidate I was talking to about topping the poll, but they said they don't mind. It's great to top the poll and be first in, but once you're elected, you're elected.
Yes.
And Tommy's going to get in, so the facts will show Sinn Féin have doubled their representation on Clare County Council. So that's a big win. I think Martina's vote is probably up than what Sean Naughton got, but as I think I've said previously, I think Martina would have done better if she went as an independent candidate rather than under the Sinn Féin banner. Whereas we're looking Sinn Féin, then we haven't seen the picture. Shannon is going to be very interesting to see what happens with Sinn Féin.
Yeah, and from some of the tallies, they didn't seem to be doing as well with their candidate in Shannon Banks.
No, but Shannon Banks was fairly squashed. I think Shannon Banks was very similar to Loop Head Peninsula in West Clare in that it was squashed between Rachel Hartigan, Michael Begley, James Ryan. A lot of people pushed into the one area.
Yeah, okay. We're just keeping an eye on the birthday boy is close to hand here. You might stay with us, Páraic, and you
can throw him a question.
You can sing him a lullaby if you want as well. You know, we'll try and get him to talk to us. Well, I think he's talking to Clare FM there tonight.
I don't see a microphone in his face. He's not on the record anyway.
He's not on the record.
He's very casual.
He's not going to come near us for the next minute or two.
I just think Jim Collins is a bit distracted on the phone. He might be here if Jim wasn't on the phone.
Yeah, no,
No, we don't want to lose him. Come on here, Alan, birthday boy.
Alan, if you come down here if you don't mind. Yeah, go there.
You have to stand.
Yeah,
you have to stand.